Hello, my name's Keith and I'm known as the Florida Stone Man, and today I'm going to teach you about how to consume negative energy and to turn it into positive energy. How cool is that? And before I get in this video topic, this is just meant for people of God and people of light, people who do good and people who do right, because this won't work for negative people. It just won't. So I've seen people do this the wrong way, and it doesn't work if you don't have a good soul. It doesn't work if you don't have a good heart. It doesn't work if you're not someone who it's not meant to work for. So when it comes to consuming negative energy, let's talk about what a tree does, because this topic might be, because this is done by crystals, by the way. If you haven't already, this is done by crystals and how to wear them, and pretty much. I'll teach some other ways, but it's mainly crystals because they're tools. You shouldn't be doing that with your own energy, or you're going to end up drained. And you're not going to do it correctly. So it's about doing it correctly or not doing it at all. So there's other ways of doing it with herbs, but there's an easy way to do it incorrectly with herbs. So let's talk about what it means to transmute negative energy. I'm going to give you guys some experiments to try too. So the first crystal I'll talk about is citrine or ametrine, because citrine, basically amethyst in nature, when Mother Nature heats it up, becomes citrine. So they're very similar in their properties, let's just say that. And yes, I'm looking around because it's Florida. I'm looking around because it's Florida. If you know, then you know. When it comes to citrine, you can take a piece of citrine and leave it in a very, very, very negative environment. I call this a citrine trap. I've taught this before. You can literally, I'm gonna upgrade on this. I might teach. Okay, I'm gonna teach some very valuable gems in this video. Take citrine and leave it in an environment full of negative energy. Take that citrine home with you after a week of it being there, or a couple days. It does not have to be a week. After you hide it in the environment, and you'll notice your hands buzz and tingle and itch. That's because all the energies that were detrimental in that environment got transmuted into the energies of money. So if some people in my live, in my TikTok live, they're like, I'm sorry people are mean to you, and I'm like, I'm happy they are. You don't know what they just did. You don't know what they just did. They literally just handed me their blessings and every other aspect of luck. And I usually get really lucky after someone hates on me, let's just say that. So I'm like, oh cool, someone hated on me, I'm gonna go play a scratch off right now. And it's usually, let's just say, the amount I've won from scratch offs, they put it on the board. That's a secret. I'm not gonna say anything more, but they put it on the board, like, you know, on the top where it say, oh, this store has won this much. Okay, so, and that's the first thing I do. So when someone hates on me and I'm on a crystal such as citrine or ametrine, I'll go and play a scratch off. I'm like, oh cool. So that's a little secret for you guys. So that's the first way you transmute negative energy into positive energy. It's because, I remember when my angels were teaching me about this when I was younger, I was like, I don't believe it. They're like, well, if you don't believe it, that's on your end. Too bad. I'm like, oh, okay. They didn't say it as meanly as that. They're just like, well, that's something you're going to have to learn on your own. So they basically said it kind of harshly. They're just like, well, if you don't believe it, that's you. We're not helping you after that. And I'm like, they said, we'll be around, but we're going to wait till your beliefs open up. And they actually did, because they made me study, because I'm like, oh, so you could just take, I was very skeptical of everything when I was younger. I was in crystals and gemstones, but I was so skeptical of things. Like as a kid, I was just like, oh, show me. And I've always been close to God, but when it comes to spiritual knowledge, I'm like, okay, well, why doesn't everyone know this then? Well, because it's a secret. So some of the angels I was very hard-headed. The crystals helped me become very open to knowledge and secrets and etc. But, so basically, look at nature. Look at a tree. So, why are trees good for the environment? It's because a tree will take your negative ions, actually your positive ions, your positive ions, which are associated with negative energy, and it'll transmute it into the tree into negative ions for you to be able to use energetically. So it turns it into good energy for you. So trees do turn bad energy into good energy. In the physical world, it takes carbon dioxide and transmutes it to oxygen. you've taken biology, right? There's a whole process as to that. Like, I'm not gonna go through that. I'm not teaching biology. This is a spiritual video, so I won't even talk about biology. But carbon dioxide becomes oxygen. Something that kills you and kills people is now something you're using because it's required for you to live. So plants do that. That's why they're so good to have around. So crystals do that too, because they're both from nature. They both come from the ground. Plants come from the ground. They come as seeds, they sprout, and then they go up. You ever see a tree without roots? So crystals come from the ground, plants come from the ground. These are energy cleaners. And my angels really like what I'm saying. Hey. Because I was supposed to teach this a while ago, but I didn't really know how to teach it. So these are energy cleaners and they're energy transmuters. So crystals literally have the properties of living trees. Dead herbs don't. Alive herbs do. So that's why we're staying away from herbs in this video. Most of you guys, and this is, I'm gonna say this right now, most of you guys who try to do a cleansing on your house, you make things 100 times worse than when you started. So let's just say people have roommates and they'll do a cleansing. I'll make a video if you guys remind me about this, but most of you, when you go to cleanse your home, make your house a complete nightmare, a living mess, because you don't know what you're doing. That's why I say just use crystals. Just use crystals. You can use herbs after things are going well, but most of you, like, you'll do a cleansing bath and a floor wash, whatever, and then your house is a living hell because you didn't know what you just did. You just made something mad, and I'll do that in another video. But let's talk more about transmuting, because I just taught you in the beginning stages of this video, and the gems come for those who actually watch the whole video. So I'm about to here comes another gem in a second. But the citrine basically just did what the tree does with carbon dioxide and oxygen, and did it with money. So negative energy into money. So maybe people were hating in that space. Maybe people were, who cares what they're doing? And negative energy is negative energy. So it just passed through the gemstone somehow, and it turned into something positive for you. But yeah, that's huge. So I don't even know if I can teach this. Okay, take citrine and leave it in a really wealthy area for 1 week, like bury it by the wealthy area, or like the world's richest homes, which I live near some of the most expensive houses in the U.S. It's just a road, Hillsborough. So I live near certain places in Florida. I'm not actually on Hillsborough, because if I lived there, then I'd be doing videos in those houses, which, let's just say those houses are easy to get flooded. So when it comes to Hillsborough, which north of Hillsborough, those places, I'm getting off topic, but there's some very nice homes, literally the most expensive houses in the entire United States. So they're very secure. There's literally police on top of police on top of police on top of police. So when I say I live near, anything between 30 miles is near. So even Miami. So back to the topic. If you know somewhere in Miami, if you know somewhere, etc., then, for example, for some of the homes down there, you take a piece of citrine and you leave it there, but you can't leave it there because there's cops everywhere there. So if you know, like, a public neighborhood, so I'm being specific because I don't want someone watching my video and be like, you told people to leave citrine in my yard, now there's all these people from YouTube leaving crystals in my yard. So I'm like, okay. So in the neighborhood of the wealthy people, wherever you can, that's a public space that a crystal, maybe it's under a rock, like a park in the rich area or the wealthy area, and you leave that rock there. I mean, you leave the citrine under the rock, or you leave it on top of the rock, or a place that you know where it's not going to get stolen. You come back and you pick up that citrine. Now you put it together. That's a gem I'm dropping right now. So you literally just accumulated the wealth of the entire area. It could be some of the most expensive places in the United States, etc. But now that wealth energy just went to you because you transmuted it. Little idea for some of you guys. You can try that. You can do that on a golf course if they allow it. Certain places, like, for example, you know those golf courses that you have to pay a large amount of money? Well, let's just say maybe it's $3,000 for every month just to be on a golf course that no one else is there. So you can go on those golf courses, you can just check it out, and then a week later you can pick up the citrine. I mean, this is just some ideas for you guys. I that's all I'm saying about it. You get the idea. So that's one way. So literally, negative energy transmutes straight into positive energy for you with citrine. Ametrine too. Ametrine's more so happiness and mental peace. So if you ever see on my TikTok lives, I get happy when people hate. It's because I'm like, oh, cool. and because it passes through the gemstone, it goes straight to me. It does what I just told you it does, and I feel wonderful because of it. I feel great. So I feel spectacular because of it. So what happens when, for example, Mexican fire agate? I'm going to make the Mexican fire agate aspect a part of this video very quickly. So I actually prefer when people use their negative energy directed towards me, because I have so much Mexican fire agate that I've saved over the course of time. So I'd rather it go to me, so it goes through the Mexican fire agate that's done by the Lord. Remember, God put everything on this earth through him. So it goes through the Mexican fire agate. And that person, when I mean someone gets messed up after getting Mexican fire agate, I'm not going into details anymore. If my angels allow it, I can say one detail. Nothing too bad. They said I can say a detail. Nothing too bad. So let's just say if that person literally goes slashing tires, if they're being a hater, if they're causing other people to get seriously harmed, that person will be bedridden, and they'll be bound to a bed in a hospital or etc. spiritually, because that's their own energy. A spiritual hospital, not a real hospital, a spiritual hospital. Disclaimer. So that energy will be sent back so hard that person has to live a different life. That's all I'll say. So that's even with a small negative comment. So when someone leaves a negative comment in my life, I'm like, okay, have a nice day. I'm like, oh cool, this person's not gonna bully anyone anymore, because I actually know what happens to them. Ask your angels what happens to someone when they mess with you in your Mexican fire agate. So I think that's pretty cool. So there's literally one less I mean, when the person is done getting messed up is when they actually become a better person. Then they become a good person. Then that person goes to teach other people, maybe you shouldn't put negative energy out. So that person becomes one of the world's best people ever. And they actually stop people from being negative people if that person survives the Mexican fire agate through the Lord. Now, another crystal, it's a transmuter. Let's just say, what's another transmutation crystal I'd like to teach about? Black tourmaline transmutes in a very different way. It doesn't transmute in the sense that it transmutes. The angel said, yes, it does. Okay, so Black tourmaline transmutes your protections into light and your protections into darkness for people who are trying to be dark towards you. Darkness isn't evil, by the way. I gotta show you guys if I even have it on me, but it's all the way behind me. I'm not gonna be able to grab it. I was gonna show you guys something, but yeah, Mexican fire agate, chastity light. Let's get the chastity light. When someone performs, and the angels are excited about this, but when someone performs a sacrifice on you when you wear chastity light or someone else, then it's fully swapped out for your name, because you know when people do black magic, they're like, oh, his name, her name, birth date. I'm gonna take my chastity light off. And yes, I'm flexible. This is why I don't like doing videos with chastity light. But I'm doing videos with my leg in the air, because oh, there goes the wind wipers. But here, I'm gonna show you my chastity light, because this is definitely necessary. So chastity light is a cross stone. You see it? It's a cross. It's a cross. So literally the blood of Jesus energy. Crossroads energy. You know when people do black magic and they go to the crossroads to do something really bad with you? You know when people, anything that has to do with spirituality meeting the physical world has to do with the crossroads. So basically, as that person does a sacrifice on you, that sacrifice is transmuted. So let's just say they're doing sacrifices on animals on you. They're doing any form of black magic. And that person gets intercepted at a 90-degree angle. So it uses the geometry of the crystal spiritually. Long story short, it swaps their name out for your name. So let's just say, okay, someone's like, okay, I'm gonna grab a chicken or 10 chickens, because these people get desperate. Some people will use a cat. Some people will use a dog. If you don't believe that, ask your angels, because I didn't believe it until recently, until I saw something in the water nearby a park, that, okay, let's just get back to the topic. I live in Florida, so there's a lot of people practicing Haitian voodoo here too. So that actually takes the curse and sends it back to the person before it even leaves the ground. So it returns it to the sender. It transmutes your name and your energy in that sacrifice to them and their name. So they're basically, it's as if that person's by themselves performing animal sacrifice on themselves, like as if they don't have anyone to do it on. They're just doing it on themselves because they feel like it's time to get their karma. That's what it translates to. That's all. I mean, I taught the most effective things in this video. Okay, some kind of extreme things, but whatever. If the angels say I'm allowed to teach it, I'm allowed to teach it. If they say no, they'll probably wipe my mind so I can't remember what I'm about to teach, and they'll scream in my ears. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. I'm glad I'm able to teach what I'm able to teach. Check out floridastowman.com if you haven't already. I'm not going to reach all the way behind me to grab the crystals that I like to have shown you, but for the people who are getting custom necklaces, DM Florida Stowman on Instagram. I make a hand-tailored, guaranteed for life custom necklace that will change your entire life, and it's made and spiritually prescribed specifically based off your spiritual DNA, your background, who you are, who you're going to become, your life path, and everything about your gifts. And I actually teach you guys how to open your gifts as well, like actually how to open your gifts. Now, the people who've had their gifts open, let's just say they're having lots of fun right now. They're doing some really cool things. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.